African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of January 4, 2026. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct the special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces have improved their tactical position. A defeat was inflicted on the formations of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the populated settlements of Kondratovka and Pizarevka in the Sumy region. On the Kharkiv direction, a defeat was inflicted on the units of 3 Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the populated settlements of Volchansky Khutori, Zolokiv, Zhukov Yar, and Ryasno in the Kharkiv region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 140 servicemen, 3 vehicles and a field artillery gun. 3 warehouses of material resources were destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces, as a result of active actions, have taken under control the populated point Podoli in the Kharkiv region. A defeat was inflicted on the manpower and equipment of the Mechanized Assault Airborne Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a National Guard Brigade in the areas of the populated settlements of Blagodatovka, Staroverovka, Grushevka, Nechvolodovka in the Kharkiv region, Lozovoy and Rubtsov in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to more than 180 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 9 vehicles, a 155mm M198 howitzer produced in the USA, and 3 ammunition warehouses. Units of the South Group of Forces have improved their position on the forward edge. A defeat was inflicted on the formations of 4 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Infantry Brigade, a Territorial Defense Brigade, and a National Guard Brigade in the areas of the populated settlements of Alekseyevo-Drushkovka, Konstantinovka, Novopavlovka, Slavyansk, and Reznikovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 180 servicemen, an M113 armored personnel carrier produced in the USA, 7 armored combat vehicles and 14 vehicles. 2 warehouses of material resources and a fuel warehouse were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces have taken more advantageous positions and lines, inflicted damage on the manpower and equipment of 4 mechanized infantry airborne assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Infantry Brigade, 2 Territorial Defense Brigades, a Special Forces Brigade Azov, and 2 National Guard Brigades in the areas of the settlements of Torsko, Grishino, Dobropole, Gulevo, Belitsko, Toretsko, Udaknoe, Volnoe of the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novopavlovka and Dibrova of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The enemy's losses amounted to up to 410 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 4 Kazakh armored vehicles, 7 pickups, a 105mm M119 gun, and an ANTPQ-37 counter-battery radar station produced by the USA. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depth of the enemy's defenses. Damage was inflicted on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Verkhnya Tersa, Zaleznitsia, Svetkove, and Vozdvizhenka of the Zaporizhia region, Sadove of the Kherson region, and the city of Kherson. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 275 servicemen, 9 combat armored vehicles, and 5 vehicles. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted damage on the formations of a mechanized brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Orkov of the Zaporizhia region, Sadov of the Kherson region, and the city of Kherson. Up to 35 Ukrainian servicemen, 11 vehicles, and a radio-electronic warfare station were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, and missile and artillery units of the armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted damage on production and assembly workshops of long-range unmanned aerial vehicles and their storage sites, ammunition depots, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 156 areas. Air defense units shot down 1 guided aerial bomb and 210 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 670 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 107,113 unmanned aerial vehicles, 642 anti-aircraft missile systems, 26 95 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,636 MLRS combat vehicles, 32,372 field artillery guns and mortars, 50,778 units of support military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.